Welcome back, y'all, to another episode 47. The conference finals are getting blowouts across the board episode. You got me, a sad Warriors fan over here, sad about Draymond's commentary. And we got Anthony, a hyped Celtics fan, 3-0 up on the Pacers, Indiana. Where are you at? Tyrese Halliburton. No. Injury, kind of sad, but still. Sorry, buddy. On game 1 or 2. How we doing?
Bro, craziness. 3-0, close games all, but feeling good. It's a closeout Monday. Let's go Celtics. Let's wrap this crap up. Get Porzingis healthy. Get ready for the finals.
100%. Get Porzingis healthy is going to be key. I mean, we'll get to it. The Dallas's bigs look great. We've got a lot to break down. We got some quick All NBA teams just to cover, and the All Rookie teams really quickly. We were going to do a breakdown of round 2 because we haven't done an episode since round 2. But honestly, do y'all really care about it that much? Because I don't. We're going to talk about the conference finals. And then we're actually going to honestly start previewing Mavericks Celtics. I mean, probably not the best idea. We're probably reverse jinxing like that happening for like the first time ever. But it's looking like it looks like a Celtics Mavericks finals is inbound. So we'll be talking about that as well. Anthony, do you want to just get right into the All NBA teams?
Yeah, let's do it. So for people who haven't been paying attention to the NBA recently, the All NBA teams, the All Defensive teams, and the All Rookie teams were announced. So with the first team, congratulations, Luka, who's been absolutely balling right now and making a name for himself continuously. SGA, Tatum, Giannis, and Jokic. I guess what we would have expected to be the most likely first team.
100%. I thought there was no discussion. Top 5 in MVP voting, right? Did Brunson sneak into the top 5 at the end?
Brunson might have hopped ahead of Tatum.
Okay. But I mean,
the end. But still.
These feels like the 5 most relevant guys to this NBA season. I think we both had this in our top 5. So
yeah, I don't think this was much of a no-brainer. Where it does get a little bit more interesting, I think, is the second and the third teams, where you have Brunson, AD, KD, Anthony Edwards, and Kawhi Leonard rounding out the second team with Devin Booker, Steph, Tyrese Halliburton, LeBron, and Sabonis completing the All-NBA teams.
I could be wrong, but I think this was my second team too. I'm pretty sure. Might have to check the tape. But yeah, I mean, I had no problem with the second team. This is who I had. Frankly, I thought Kawhi well deserved the second team. I saw some pushback on that, but I thought he's been great defensively this year. I know Paul George and his stats face value look really similar, but the 3 months where Kawhi was back, basically playing as a top 5 player in the league, I was really impressed. And I mean, we can get to Sabonis and whatnot, but yeah, I thought that was well deserved. KD being second team over Booker third team, as much as it hurts me and my agendas, like that's what I thought was going to happen, and probably well deserved.
Absolutely. I'm looking at mine. We did this in
episode 43.
Yes. Good memory. We did this April 15th. And the only person I had switched for second team and third team was Kawhi and LeBron. And then I had Paolo instead of Sabonis.
Oh, in the third team. I remember you having Paolo instead of Sabonis. I think I had Tyrese low key.
Maxey?
Oh no, Tyrese made it. I think I might have had Paul George. I think I might have had Paul George instead of Sabonis. I'm not mad at me taking Paul George. I will say it didn't age too well. Banchero looked fantastic for the playoffs.
Dude, he did.
But I'm gonna be honest, I don't love Sabonis being here. I know that he had a great season, tons of double doubles, 19, 14, 8 on like 60% from the field. Top 5 in win shares, offensive win shares, defensive box plus minus, value over replacement player. But his team regressed by 2 regular season games, and like I know the West is competitive and it's hard, but we just gave an All NBA slot to Sabonis, who I would potentially argue as a better player on his team.
Arguably, at least.
Yeah, and like I could understand if you think Sabonis is like more valuable to a team than Fox, but I don't know. I would personally disagree. So, and value is different than who had the better season still, right? But that's kind of where I have a hang up on putting Sabonis in here. Like I think Paolo is a substantially better pick than Sabonis, frankly.
When are we going to start incorporating the playoffs into these all NBA teams?
Yeah, yeah, and making these affect contracts and stuff too. It's like Jamal Murray's never gonna make one of these, and it's like
Right.
he's better than half the guys on the third team. It feels like, you know. Um,
At times, at least, yeah, for sure.
yeah, like so it's I don't know. It's tough. I understand why they like these are regular season awards, right? And you have to take it at that. But like, playoffs provides good context to a lot of these players, especially someone like Sabonis, like we've seen it in the playoffs.
Yeah. It was
Uh,
just not effective against the Warriors. You're
yeah.
getting outplayed by Kevon Looney, dude.
Yeah. Kevon Looney's putting up 25 boards on your head. Like, and then the next
Insane.
year, Kevon Looney is not in the rotation, like of a team that didn't do anything. So it's like, I don't know. Hindsight's
Yeah,
always 2020, but
dude, but honestly, looking at this list, this is pretty impressive that Luka is already 5 all first team NBA in his first 6 seasons.
more than Steph already. Steph is four. Steph is
More
five.
than Steph. Yeah, more than Steph.
Because
I think
Steph, yeah.
more than everybody on this list, probably besides KD, honestly.
KD is what, eight or something?
Probably. And then LeBron, of course. Maybe Giannis.
Um, yeah, maybe Giannis.
It's
But
crazy.
Giannis might have missed it one of the position years. Might be tweaking that.
How many does he have?
Yeah, we can check that actually. But yeah, I will say the one if someone was arguing Brunson over Tatum, I would not flame him. But I think that's like one of the and then Sabonis, I don't think should have made it, but like, outside of that, I think those are the only two things that are pretty arguable. Like I think the rest was pretty evident, like made sense. I kind of like the no positions.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I thought it was good.
Um, how'd you like the 65 game rule?
I was good with it. Who do we miss? Embiid?
Embiid, Donovan Mitchell, um, Tyrese Maxey, Kyrie.
Kyrie? I don't think Kyrie would have made it. I think the good chance Donnie and Embiid would have made it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Donnie also he played a good amount of games this season, though, like 50 something. Like I think there's a chance that they leave him on the ballot, he still makes an all NBA team. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like kind of my argument there where like yeah, but Embiid is not making it. He just didn't play enough games. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
either way. So I don't know. I'm still fine with it. Bro, all these guys play like 70 games this season. So I'm hyped. Like
Yeah, finally.
fine. Kawhi, like
Kawhi played
yeah, he played. I
and
mean, Kyle's
didn't play. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Didn't
the
count
whole
when it
reason
mattered.
the whole reason
Yeah,
he's been load managing for years already.
legit. Oh, I feel so bad for that guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm cool with the no positions. I like that no one got shoehorned into a third team center slot.
Yeah.
Except they kind of did because of Sabonis. If it happens naturally like that, so be it. And also if you look at the positions, uh it would have been it would have worked anyways. Brunson and Ant at the guard spots in the second team, KD,
hmm
Kawhi at the forward slots, AD at center. Then like Booker, Steph at the guard slot. Or yeah, but then you
Gets a
have
little
Booker, Steph,
dicey.
Halliburton.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a little interesting. But yeah, first team, I mean Luka SGA and then Tatum Giannis, Jokic. Like
that's perfect.
yeah, it kind of ended up being pretty positional anyways.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that actually goes into contrast with the all defense teams, which did not appear to go by position at all.
Yeah.
If we're looking at that, uh, 4 big men, and then Herb Jones. So Bam, AD, Wemby, Gobert, and Herb.
I think we both had this. I had this at least.
I feel like you definitely had it. I'm not sure if I had that exact order.
On my notes for that podcast, I only have the all NBA all the first team on there, but I do remember
Hmm.
I had Drew I think on the second team.
Yes. I
And
think I had Derek White.
oh, I might have put Ant then.
Well, if you had Drew and I D White, then we combined.
Oh, we'll take it. Spitting Hoops is killing it right now.
Let's go. Oh
But I have
man,
no issue. I have no issues with this defensive team. These are the at least the first five guys I think were pretty abundantly evidently the best five defensive players in the league this season. I think Herb Jones being the one center that I mean Bam, AD, Wemby, and Gobert just create such defensive havoc. But Herb Jones being the one non-center, I think he was by far the most deserving. He is spectacular. So I'm good with that. And then I think second team was good. I think I would have put Ant in there somewhere, probably instead of Drew, maybe. Or I think,
bro. Drew proved himself. We'll talk about that in a second,
yeah, I
though.
mean, we'll talk about it in a second. But I just can't remember. I had Ant instead of someone on the second team, so
Mhm.
I'm just trying to revisit that. But I thought this was a great list. I thought the NBA did great on the all
Yeah,
NBA teams and all defensive teams.
yeah. Um, and then last NBA awards, all rookie teams, first team. Not too surprising, perhaps. Want to hear what you think? Maybe towards the end it gets a little bit. But Wemby, Chet, Brandon Miller, I think all were locks by the end of the season. And then Jaime Jaquez and Pajemski round out that top five. And then second team, we have Keontae George, Gigi Jackson, who was balling at the end of the season.
Mhm.
Derek Lively, who we'll talk about in a bit, super instrumental for the Mavs. Eamon Thompson, who came on later on in the season, and then Cason Wallace, who was just a great player for the Thunder this year.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this is the first team I had too, so pretty hyped about that.
Mm.
Like I thought it was pretty evident though. There's clearly five guys who are playing 30 minutes a game on pretty good teams and being difference makers, and it was these five guys. I think Lively, there was an argument for Lively, but Lively also once Gafford got there, I mean his minutes just went down. And like I just think Pajemski and Jaime were very influential in the relative success of both those teams. So I was pretty good with that.
Overall, no major complaints with this. It's pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do have a little bit of a qualm, and I think people this is like a voter thing, but I think of Men Thompson. I think he's a great player and I love him. I root for him. He's one of my favorite players to watch, especially in the second half of the season. He was one of the worst players in the NBA for like 2 months to start the season. And like, sure, after the All-Star break, really warmed up, started playing better. Um, I pretty aggressively think Bilal Coulibaly, for example, or even Trace Jackson Davis had like a better rookie season than him. Both guys who got more substantial minutes over the course of the season. I think Trace Jackson Davis probably was more of a similar case to Men Thompson. But that's one where I felt a little about. Cason Wallace, I mean, Cason Wallace got the second least votes in this. Like Amen Thompson got the second most votes on the second team, for example. And like I thought that was steep.
Mm.
Amen Thompson got 10 first team votes.
Dang. I mean, I think that just speaks also to the depth of this rookie class this year. There's just so many options. I mean, even Scoot Henderson, who finished the season pretty strong, didn't get much consideration, I don't believe. Um,
He
so
finished he
overall,
finished 13th in voting, Scoot.
out of so 10 slots, he finished 13th.
Yeah.
How did Asar Thompson finish?
Yeah, so it was 11th Trace Jackson Davis, 12th
Mm.
Ausar Thompson, 13th Scoot, and 14th Bilal Coulibaly. And then after that, there was like a deep drop to like Grady Dick, Cam Whitmore,
Oh,
Tumani.
okay.
Yeah. So
Damn.
I mean, I will say we got 13 fantastic rookies. 13
Yeah.
guys who will be starting or should be starting like within a year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Insane.
And a lot of these guys already started most of the year. Like, I mean, Keontae George, Lively, the guys on the first teams had 7, Gigi Jackson, 8,
He started. Yeah.
Scoot, and Bilal Coulibaly. That's like 11 guys who started most of the season this year.
Dude. It's impressive the young talent we got in this league right now.
Yeah. And that's not even talking about like the Miciches of the world who are like cooking for Charlotte after the trade deadline, or even like
Right.
Jordan Hawkins, who shot like 40% from three as a rookie. It's like,
Oh my lord.
dude, yeah,
Yeah, he was so
we're
good.
set. We're set.
Yeah.
League's good.
We're chilling.
100%. Well, I guess with that was all the awards. And we can
Mm-hmm.
move on to the actual action.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. The absolute upset that's going on out east. with the Boston Celtics up 3-0. No, I'm kidding. But the Boston Celtics are up 3-0. Obviously Tyrese Halliburton missed the last game. Pacers put out a really good showing, and Drew Holiday went crazy. And game one, obviously, you had the Jaylen Brown big three at the end of the game to send the game to overtime. Game two, a little bit more of a blowout. You got a Tatum 40 piece or a Jaylen Brown 40 piece, sorry. But yeah, like overall, I think before the season, the series, you and I had talked. I think my prediction was Celtics in six. And in retrospect, like I don't think that was a dumb take, but it's hard to see where this Pacers were supposed to win two games here outside of game one.
This series has been very helpful as a fan to watch. I think the game one, especially, that felt like the game that we were going to lose. Game three, honestly, to a different extent, did feel like that. We'll talk about that in a second. But game one, Pacers up by 5, less than 2 minutes to go. Same deal in game three, actually. And just consistently, they shoot themselves in the foot a couple of times. Some poor Celtics offensive possessions to close it out. And then, but finally, we get the ball back with 8 to go. Jaylen Brown hits a tough shot over Pascal Siakam. And in the bonus, by the way, down 3, which is a question that a lot of people are talking about now. Do you foul or not? But he hits the shot. We go to OT, and Pacers run out of gas. That felt like the game that we were meant to lose if we were going to lose one of these games.
100%. Yeah, if the Pacers won any shot that series, they were going to need to steal one at home, and they got their opportunity to steal one, and they didn't take it. Obviously, I mean, Tyrese gets hurt after the fact, and it's going to be hard for them to win a series without Tyrese, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But it weirdly felt like the nail in the coffin after game one. Like, I don't know. And obviously game two, the Celtics just come out and they're just beating the brakes off the Pacers at that point. Like, we got really good series so far from both Jaylen and Jason Tatum, both averaging 30 plus the series, right? It's just like you're gonna have a tough time competing with that,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what.
Yeah, 100%. I guess want to talk real briefly about some of the Pacers. I think that they have a really, really good future to look forward to. Andrew Nembhard has been playing out of his friggin' mind.
Fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. Siakam's been shooting so well. Miles Turner's been playing really, really well too. TJ McConnell, all these guys have been on fire. And so what can you kind of do in the offseason going forward? I think the Pacers have more options potentially in terms of trade value with some of these guys. Even Obi Toppin stepping up for some sections of the series and last series, of course, against the Knicks. So I think the Pacers are in a really good spot right now. Very impressive showing.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I kind of feel like they just need to get a little bit older. I mean, TJ McConnell's like what, 31? Siakam's like almost gonna hit 30, but you could trade it. McConnell's great. He's amazing. Like, electric to watch, especially in these series. He's looked great, but like you don't necessarily need him. Like you could go trade him, get a few first, and like I think Nembhard could run the point guard spot off like for the second unit. Because like next year you're obviously gonna have Benedict Mathurin back. You're gonna have a year of development for guys like Ben Shepherd, and then guys like Jarris Walker. They're gonna want more minutes, and like these are really good players. Like Jarris Walker and Ben Shepherd, like I mean, Ben Shepherd is actually getting minutes, so bad example. But Jarris Walker is getting DNPs all year, and it's like he's good. So I wonder if they almost free up space to add to allow them to develop a little bit more, right? Like they don't need to rush it. They look great, but like, it's tough to exactly know where they're at, considering this series has been like a no Halliburton series, and also the playoffs in general have been a little bit of a roller coaster for Halliburton.
They absolutely have. I think the one thing that I'm so impressed by with this Pacers team has been their offense. It doesn't stagnate at all. It's consistent. They're making decisions. The shot making is out of this world, and the ball just never stops moving.
Which is a little new. There was times in that Knicks series. I think them having to scrap through that Knicks series made them figure out even in the tough moments where the ball needs to go. Because like there was times early in that Knicks series where they're just like throwing the ball around for 24 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, come on, we got to do something with it. But I almost think like they figured it out in that series and they kind of like took that with them. you know? And even though it hasn't like worked out, they're down 0-3, like they've played very well. Like I can't really flame the way they're trying and they're executing and they're playing, you know?
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, shout out to the way they're playing. The thing that really makes me excited as a Celtics fan is especially game three, being down 18 multiple times in the second quarter and in the third quarter. There was a level of confidence. I actually hit the Celtics at plus 195.
Nice.
Grab those odds. $5, but hey, got some money.
FanDuel.
FanDuel. Was it FanDuel or DraftKings? One of those two. And it just seemed like even though they were down, I just kept saying the Pacers can't keep scoring at this clip, right? Like the Celtics eventually, there's got to be some regression to the mean. And the Celtics kind of just held true to what their game plan was. They were amazing on defense. I think they forced like 4 or 5 straight block shots at one point in the third quarter that just led to fast break opportunities. So where they weren't able to score in other elements, they were finally able to get it together, especially with how bad their offense tends to stagnate at certain points. And then thank God for Drew Holiday. I mean, I love Marcus Smart, but this man is leagues better than Marcus Smart.
There's levels.
There are levels. The game-winning bucket and then the game-sealing steal. Uh, just very, very spectacular, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel the same way. You know, I've been always a little bit skeptical of like, you know, when the Celtics go down, like I don't necessarily see like a urgency or I got this like I do
Mm-hmm.
with some other teams. But that was truly impressive. I mean, game three, like they're getting it's like it felt like one of those regular season games where you're getting cooked by insert random player here,
Yeah,
Andrew
yeah,
Nemhard in this case, and like you just gotta kind of figure it out. And to do that in the playoffs where they could have rolled over if they wanted. If they
yeah.
lose that game, they win the next two, like people aren't tweaking out, you know, it's fine. But like there was some urgency and I like that. I really like that. I will say there's some stuff with Al Horford on offense that I really like, and then some stuff with Al Horford on defense that I don't really like. That kind of make me worry about like Porzingis. Like I really think I want Porzingis to be back, obviously.
Yeah.
But like if he's back, it's gonna be really hard to beat the Celtics in general. But if he's not back, I think that's a position that can be exposed. Obviously Cornette got hurt, so like, you know, those fringe 10 minutes, surprisingly, the only like the 10 minutes that Al Horford can't play because he's playing like 40 minutes a night. It'll be like Luke
Yeah.
Cornette, who's like, okay, but I was actually really impressed with like the runs that Tillman had over the last few games. And I just like even if Porzingis ends up being out, at least you have some coverage there. Like Horford was able to play what 25 minutes in game two, something like that, right? So
Horford, I mean, he's averaging 33 a night. I'm not sure how many he played in game two, right? Because they were up big, so they could rest.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he played 25 minutes on game two, but he's played 40 minutes in the other two, for example. You know, so it's like
insane.
that's just like not like it's insane, but it's also just not sustainable. Like he's
No.
honestly at times he's just getting cooked on defense. Like which
Yeah.
it's just because he's playing a lot. Like, he's not a bad defender at all, but he's 37-year-old Al Horford, you know? Like
Yeah.
it is what it is.
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on an island against these guys.
Yeah, so I'm just like a little bit worried about that, but offensively, he still looks totally fine, which is hilarious. So,
Yeah, he's back to shooting 40% from three.
yeah,
Thank goodness.
like he's scoring 15 points a game. It's like hilarious to me. Like he's just around, and he also okay. It, I'm sure this has been like everyone's talked about this so much, but he just doesn't play at all like he used to play. Like if you looked at Al Horford's year like 1 through 3 in like
Hmm.
Atlanta, and then look at his career, his play style now, these are not similar players like at all. You'd be hard pressed to even like understand how this evolution happened, I feel like.
Yeah, it speaks to his longevity.
Yeah. Just reinventing himself. Yeah. Now he's a
Yeah.
three-point sniper who plays good defense. Like
Yeah. Just no. Was he a good defender in Atlanta to start his career?
he was a good defender. Like he was, I believe he was started making like second teams and stuff at the back end of his Atlanta career, and then like his
Uh,
first few years in Boston. But he was like an all, I mean, he was like an all-star
yeah.
with the defense as like he was like a pretty good defender, and he was an all-star for like the first
Yeah.
10 years of his career. Like he didn't
Yeah.
make a defensive team until 2017.
It's insane.
It was 31. he didn't he didn't average more than 1 3 attempted per game till he was 29.
Wow.
Yeah. His first 9 years in the NBA, he's averaging 0.4 3-point attempts per game or less.
That's
Which
insane.
is that's just like chucking the ball at the halftime, right? So,
Well,
anyways,
he's tied with Tatum for most 3-point attempts in the series.
there you go. Like absurd, absurd. I would implore anyone to just go look at his like basketball reference, like because he was also like a really good passer at a certain point in his career on the back end of the Hawks like thing. Like people don't really remember, but he was averaging like 5 6 assists like a game for a whole season. Like so, this guy has gone through like so many steps in his career, and it's like
Mm,
could not be more impressed.
the man deserves a ring. Let's get him one.
Him and Drew. Drew's
Oh,
is enough.
damn.
Um,
Yeah, wait, we'll talk legacy in a second on some hyperbole stuff. Anything on Tatum or JB?
I don't have too much on Tatum and JB. I mean, I want to keep seeing it. Let's like they're cooking.
Yeah,
Like I'm impressed, but I mean, this is the Pacers like perimeter defense, you know. Like I'm not too
yeah,
like they should be doing this, and I'm happy they're doing this. And JB specifically is really stepping up to the plate. Like Tatum, not surprised he's performing this way. He's been very good. When he wants to go to the rack, he's amazing.
yeah,
But JB taking like that extra step up, like we'll get to this, but they're gonna need to be performing like this to beat the scoring combo of Luca and Kyrie, frankly.
absolutely.
So
If they can match, that's the series.
yeah, if they can match, they win. And so let's like
Mhm.
they got to keep it up. I mean, it's still again like it's still the Pacers, but I'm happy. Like I'm happy to see this because now I mean we'll get into the Mavs, but their series against the eventual favorites of this series is going to be a heavyweight fight. So the Mavericks, unless you still got something on the Tatum Brown front.
Just let's start looking at flights if the series is looking over in the finals. That's all I'm saying. Start looking at flights for the parade.
It's bad. Okay, well, so we'll get right into it. In the Western Conference, Mavericks, T-Wolves, Mavericks up 3-0. We had really close first two games, Mavericks winning both those games by a combined margin of 4 points. But last game, like very impressive in my eyes. You have Derek Lively who gets hurt in like the second quarter. Doesn't really change much. You get Kyrie and Luca basically combining for 70, as they've
Yeah,
done pretty much all series, it feels like.
it's insane.
And I mean, they're averaging 60 points combined this series, which is
Yeah.
incredible. But even on the role player front, I mean, none of the role players have been incredible, but every game you have three of them who scores at least 10 points, and that gets you to at least 100 points, which is good enough because their defense has been really good too. Um, on the Minnesota front, I don't want to do too much bashing because, you know, we're not here for that, but thoroughly not impressed by Rudy, Towns, or Ant in this series.
Yeah, they've all sold pretty hard, bro.
Like really bad. Like really bad. Dude, Gobert has been awful. Like, oh, Gobert is getting outplayed by Gafford and Lively. And
Right.
like
Yeah.
he is so bad offensively. And even though Lively and Gafford can't stretch the floor, like I don't know,
They
they
can
can still make the offense run in some way.
right. They still have footwork. They can still at least handle the ball when they get a pass.
Yeah.
Um,
They can run like
and
a DHO or something like I don't know.
yeah, it just really looks inept offensively unless he's running to the rim or catching an alley oop.
Yeah.
Like he's not backing somebody down, and he tried that on Luca, and it just
And
did not
Luca's
work
like,
out for him.
and Luca's getting mad at Gafford for trying to switch back. Like, because Gafford was like, "Oh, I need to switch back to get onto Rudy," and then Luca's like, "No, like we don't. I could guard Rudy."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
A
it's
cone can guard Rudy.
yeah. And then like I mean, Rudy also is like, it's not like he's strapping anyone on the Mavericks. Like Lively's catching alley oops over him.
Bro, it's insane. I think I'm very curious to hear how Lively's potential neck strain or concussion is going to be because that could be a pretty big piece.
We do have
Um,
we do have a report actually.
oh, what is it?
His X-rays and stuff came clear, and he's not in the concussion protocol. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
he's relatively good, but his status for game 4 is still up in the air.
Yeah, maybe they sit him.
Yeah.
Why not?
So Are you tempting fate like that? You know, like I don't know. If he can play, maybe you just like see where he's at. Like,
You see, Anthony Edwards said that he still doesn't think that they can beat them.
hey,
So
keep talking. I respect it. It's not
yeah,
that, yeah. If you're gonna talk when you're down, you gotta talk when, or if you're gonna talk when you're up, you gotta talk when you're down. Respect. Like I have no shame. Um, yeah, Ant's
she's.
been bad, but last game at least he had a little bit more of I got this attitude. And then
Mhm.
on the other hand, you have Karl-Anthony Towns shooting 25% from the field, and you just can't win a series. Like you cannot compete with Kyrie and Luca when Towns does that. Even if Ant was scoring 30 a game. Not to
Bro,
not to push all the blame to Towns, because that's not the case, but you know.
bro. I mean, he's shooting 3 for 22 from the field. From three.
Yeah.
3 for 22. That's the difference in these series. If he hits if he shoots 9 for 22, which for the supposed best shooting big man of all
Would not
time
be
is
insane.
it would not be insane. 8 for 22, the Timberwolves might be up 2-1.
Yep. That might be up 3-0.
They might be up 3-0. I mean, well, yeah, the Mavs were down in the last 5 minutes of every single one of these games. These are all clutch games. This is not that far of a series.
But the Mavs just have this thing, like if the game is close in the last 5 minutes, it feels like you've lost against the Mavs because they can just dump it to Luca, and if Luca gets doubled, oh no, we have Kyrie Irving. Like, and it makes it really hard. Like Stephen A. Smith gave like a really dumb take where he was like, "Oh, like they're so predictable. You know it's going to Luca or Kyrie." And it's like it's also that's like really not good analysis. I think the best comparison to this team that I've seen is like the 2015, 2016 Cavaliers teams. Like, bear with me. Like those teams were a lot better than the Mavs, right? Like, don't get me wrong. But in terms of play style, obviously, like you have your central creator, facilitator, GOAT, LeBron, Luca.
Mm,
And then you have Kyrie on
yeah.
both teams who gets to like check in, check out mentally. I'll get to Kyrie in a bit. I've been really impressed by him, but you have that. And even if LeBron or Luca has to give up the ball, Kevin Love, PJ Washington, Timofey Mozgov or Tristan Thompson, Derek Lively or Dan Gafford, J.R. Smith, you know, whoever the wing guy is on the Mavs at that current point in time. Uh, all those guys know how to play without the ball. Like even if LeBron, Luca, Kyrie gives up the ball, those guys know how to run a 3v4 super well. You know, you'll have moments where like gets the ball down low and he has the awareness to I'm gonna look back out to the perimeter. I'm gonna chuck it to PJ, and then I'm just gonna go set a screen in front of PJ so PJ can get a shot up. And it's small stuff like that. They have actions right after Luca and Kyrie get out of the play that can still create points. To the extent where I think that's been a major like I know they haven't been scoring a ton, but that's how they've been guaranteeing that at least three role players are going to double digits each night, right? The role players don't need to score 50. The Mavericks don't need the role players to score 50. They need Luca and Kyrie to combine for 60, right? But if the role players can combine for 35, 40, they're going to be a really good spot no matter what. So that's something I've been super impressed with. And another note on Kyrie, this is the most urgent I've ever seen Kyrie. Kyrie wants the ball. Kyrie wants to dive for loose balls, play defense. Um, he's playing within the flow of the offense so well. He's checking in, checking out at perfect moments. It's really hard to be a secondary scorer, especially when you're 6-1 on a team like this and still be extremely effective. And he has been. His shooting percentages are off the charts. And um, I don't know. I'm really impressed. These teams really remind me of each other. The Cavs 2015, 2016, and these Mavericks, like it really reminds me of each other.
Celtics better not go up 3-1 then.
Honestly, this is a team where it's like if they're down 2-1 in a series, yeah, it's like Kyrie and Luca could start combining for 80. Like
Yeah.
just like LeBron and Kyrie did when the Warriors were up 3-1, you know? Um, so I'm excited. I'm buzzing to see how far this team could go. Um, they're finally figuring out the back end of their bench out. Tim Hardaway's gone. Jaden Hardy is playing a lot of minutes on the back end. Derek Jones is effective as ever, even though he's scoring 7 points. Like, I don't know. I could go on about this team forever. I've been incredibly impressed. They're fun to watch. Yeah, I'm hype, basically.
They got a lot of depth.
Lot.
Um, I was I think I might have mentioned this to you before. I really wanted the Mavs to win this series to more so guarantee a Celtics victory, but the way that they're closing these games out is really scary.
It feels like if I mean I said this earlier in the pod. It feels like if it's a close game in the last 5 minutes, the Mavs win. It doesn't feel like if I dump the ball 20 times to Luka or dump the ball 20 times to Tatum, it feels like Luka 100% of the time is going to win that, which isn't true, but it just feels that way. Just because Luka has this pace and patience and ability to, make crazy shots.
Right. Yeah. And he's a closer and he doesn't rush it no matter what. Which is impressive, right? Like think about the game winning play for the Mavs. I mean, it was kind of sealed up already, but Gafford gets the block, and then their last play that scored was Luka alley-ooping it to Gafford again for a foul. And that's typically not what we see with the Celtics. It's some terrible step back 15, 18-foot jump shot. So besides, I think recently they've finally been playing a little bit better in clutch.
100%. They totally have been.
This might be one of the better series that we get in a long time.
In terms of pure basketball, this is going to be a fantastic matchup. This can be because I'm going to be honest. I think the Celtics have an amazing defensive backcourt, and like I guess we're getting into the analysis now, but like I think they have an amazing backcourt. Like obviously, Drew, Derek White defensively. I think the T-Wolves have the best defense, perimeter defense that I might have ever seen in like a long time. Like I don't know. That's why I can't even. Frankly, I can't even be like, yeah, like I wonder if Derek White can hold Luka to 30. Like I'm not even like they're gonna be good on defense, but like it's gonna be tough. It's like I'm
The
not. I don't know.
the thing that I feel like though is the case is that with the Timberwolves, I think they're like lackadaisical offense at times just makes it harder for them to like strap up on defense, and the Celtics have been able to turn their defense into an offense to a certain extent. So absolutely to your point, like we think about that game two first half that Minnesota had against Denver where they just looked like some titan that came to earth and destroyed any mortal. But it's I think obviously we've seen that has not been able to sustain. And I mean, I don't know. I think, Drew's kind of that guy. D White's like that guy. I mean, nobody's stopping Luka, nobody's stopping Kyrie. Absolutely. But can we slow them down? Can we have them shooting 42% instead of 45% for the
Oh,
field?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think so, but like I respect the confidence. I respect the confidence of guys, but they're going against a team that, in my opinion, should have had like three all defensive players, and they're getting cooked because like it's not even operate. Like I know you're definitely right about they're so bad offensively the T Wolves sometimes that it's just like
Yeah.
it feels like they've been playing defense for like 20 minutes straight when you're watching the game. Sometimes you're like,
Yeah.
this is ugly. So like I do understand that point for sure, but you know. This is a team with like Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Edwards. Like it's not even just Drew and D White, and neither is the Celtics, right? Like Tatum, Brown, great defenders,
Yeah.
but I think that's where you're gonna need Porzingis.
Yeah.
Like that's really gonna be like that's where
He's
you're gonna get your defense to the level of the T-Wolves while having the Celtics level offense.
right. Yeah. I mean, that's the next level for weak side help, for just continuing interior defense. I think he can guard a little bit on the perimeter, a bit better than even Al at this stage in his career, and definitely Rudy Gobert.
Dude.
And he can tire it out. Like that's the thing is we're going to be able to tire out the defensive efforts of Luka, of Kyrie, if we have Tatum and Jalen just going at them over and over and over and over again.
100%. And like I will say the Mavs have been very switch heavy and they're like not afraid for like they're not worried about Ant just going after Luca. Like they've been kind of all right with that, which respect, like
Bro,
it's worked. Like, but
Luka ripped the ball out of Ant's hands yesterday.
I'm honestly very impressed with Luca's defense. Like I don't want to get ahead of myself saying he's like a good defender or anything because he still doesn't try enough. But like, dude, he's good. And Kyrie's been solid. But like again, if
Yeah.
Tatum is going at Kyrie, yeah, you know who's scoring the points there. It's Tatum. But another thing is I think for rebounding purposes, the Mavs have been able to hold. They're not an exceptional rebounding team, but they've definitely been able to hold their own throughout these series, and they've been out rebounding a team with Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns. it helps when the T-Wolves shoot this badly because defensive rebounds are more likely to get, but whatever. That's another thing with Porzingis. I think like that will be a big deal too. Not saying that the Celtics are a bad rebounding team, but they've been out rebounded in their series against the Pacers, which is contrary to the Mavericks. So that's just something I'm kind of watching out for with the Porzingis thing too. Obviously, Porzingis great offensively. He's going to give you another aspect there, etc. You're going to have basically 17 plus point per game scorers on your starting five if he's back. But I really think defensively and rebounding wise, like that will be a huge addition. And I
Hmm.
think that's kind of what's needed to get you guys to a point where like you could feel extremely confident against the Mavericks, a team with Luka and Kyrie.
Bro, 100%. Um, should we do some predictions?
Are we doing predictions this early? Dude, the
Or
final.
should we wait? Should we wait? Let's wait. Let's wait. Well, we don't know who's healthy, who's coming back.
Why don't we have, okay, let's say just viewers, do not aggregate this, please. This is not our final takes. But let's say Porzingis plays the full series, Luke Cornett plays the full series, and in Dallas, Derek Lively plays the full series, and that both these teams don't blow 3-0 leads. Who
Mm,
you got?
give me the Celtics in six.
I think that's fair. I think I got the Mavericks in 7. I cannot believe how good this team is. And this is like no flame to the Celtics. I would just be a little bit concerned. You know, when we're talking about the stagnant thing, as much as Porzingis is going to help your team when you come back in, that's another thing that you got to worry about, like in terms of stagnation. And Porzingis, let's just say he's not the most fluid half court guy, and that's just something I'm worried about. On the other hand, like I don't know, the Mavs in 7 is the best the Mavericks could hope for in this series. So I'm just going with that. Like I don't see the Mavs being the Celtics in any less than 7. I don't know. That's my current one. Once we get the actual decisions of or the news of who's in and who's out, I'll give a less fun take and a more professional one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so tough, man. These series are just all over the place. It's really tough to predict.
Yeah. I will say if Jalen and Tatum average 28 plus, both of them for a whole finals, you're not beating them.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
that argument, my argument about Luka and Kyrie can go both ways. I'll be aware about that.
Mm. Uh, you want to do a little historical legacy stuff?
Yeah, let's do some legacy stuff.
All right, Celtics or Mavs first.
Let's do Celtics. Let's do Celtics.
All right, so Celtics win a chip. Here's what we're seeing. We're gonna assume that Tatum probably wins Finals MVP,
Mhm.
although I don't think Jalen Brown would be out of the
Good.
ordinary, but
Yeah.
Jalen would have to play so much better than Tatum.
Yeah.
Just if they're on par, it's Tatum. Plus, Tatum's been
Big
honestly,
guy.
he's scored more, he's rebounded more, he's assisted more. So let's see. So Tatum wins his first Finals MVP. Oh my gosh, please! I hope I'm saying this in a month. Jalen Brown wins first chip. Drew Holiday wins his second ring, and Al Horford finally gets over the hump. Derek White, Kristaps wins his first ring.
Tatum enters top 75.
Yeah,
Like
talks.
that would be like he's already on track. Like he's about to
Yeah,
get there. But like he goes ahead of guys like Dame immediately if he wins a chip.
immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah,
So there's that. I
he's
don't think
he's
you can't call this team a dynasty because that one thing, but like you're
yeah,
starting to put together a really long run. And
yeah,
he's this streak is gonna be looked at a lot more favorably if they win this year, obviously, than if they don't. Like mind me, sorry for saying the obvious, but like I think they'll get a lot more credit because they
yeah.
have made 5 out of the last 7 Eastern Conference Finals. But
Mm,
if I'm a detractor, I can if they don't win the finals, I can just be like, oh well, they made 5 out of 7 Eastern Conference Finals, never won anything. So like, which isn't super productive basketball conversation, but like, yeah, it's time for them to win it, and if they do, I mean, Tatum's gonna be at a crazy pace. Chip at 25.
yeah, yeah.
Three first teams, Chip at 25, 5 all-stars.
For all NBAs in general.
He could get up to like 14 all-stars, 15 all-stars, 12 all-NBAs, 13 all-NBAs. Like that's some crazy, like he's on pace to potentially do that.
Yeah, he could get into top 50. top 40 sooner rather than later if he starts. I mean, it's all about the finals anyways, but
especially for the Celtics, because that's the thing. If he goes out and wins 4 chips for the Celtics, you're always gonna get a little bit more clout than that,
Mhm.
a little bit. And
where
especially when
does
you're doing runs like this in the interim.
where does he rank all time for Celtics?
Ah, he's
So
far. He's
Bill
unfortunately
Ru-
pretty far down the list, I feel like.
Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Sam Jones, maybe Bob Cousy,
Dave Cowens,
Dave Cowens. So that's
Pierce.
already Pierce at this stage, if all things are equal.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry. Paul Pierce objectively, like Paul Pierce
Just
won.
due just due to length of his career, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean, Tatum will pass Paul Pierce, but like if
yeah,
even if Tatum won a chip this year and then instantly retired, he wouldn't be better than Paul Pierce.
bro, I don't know. Paul Pierce was never first team All NBA
Bro, Paul Pierce is like 10 All-Stars and a chip
and a Finals MVP. Yeah.
and 5 All-NBAs, 6 All-NBAs. Averaged
All
20
right,
points a game over his whole career, which
all right,
lasted 18 years.
all right. He needs some more time for sure.
MVP of the Instagram models.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yo, Tatum is an all-star MVP.
What
Come on.
was Russell Westbrook?
That's crazy. Damn.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, but I think Tatum enters a different combo. But I will say, I do have a hot take. I don't think he would be I don't think people would generally consider him to be the best player in the NBA, even if he won it. Tatum
no.
kind of has, because this has been going on for so long and because his team's so good. I think people would want to see it again or that level
Yeah.
again for another year
Continued.
before you could start crowning him.
Yeah. I think he's solidly now in top 5, top 3 conversations
Yeah. I think he's
in the
top 5.
NBA.
I think he's top 5. He's been top 5. And like he deserves it. If you won the chip, I mean, you'd have to put him in the same combos as Luka or Jokic. But if he puts up 37 a game to win the chip, maybe we just call him the GOAT. Like like that's the thing. Like it's gonna also depend on the manner in which.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh, bro.
Kyrie,
And
Kyrie, the top 75, sorry.
sorry, one more thing. Tatum and Jalen in this series, granted against the Pacers, each have 8 and 6 turnovers only apiece, which is pretty good. So just keeping that in mind. That was the bugaboo for the Celtics last year,
Yeah.
or 2 years ago. Kyrie,
He wasn't top 75, right?
no,
If he wins, I mean, if he wins the chip, he's immediately top 75. And also like I don't
who
know.
does he?
His legend is really added if he wins a chip like 8 years after winning a chip with LeBron after going to 2 different stops. Like
So does he pass? He passes Dame.
100%. 100%.
He passes Westbrook?
And that's tough, right? Like that's tough.
Does he
That's
pass
tough.
Chris Paul?
Not Chris Paul for me.
Uh-huh.
So I don't even remember if I have Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook higher. Those are such like difficult like top 50 arguments.
I
Um,
think I think we have Chris Paul ahead.
I think we do.
Yeah. But yeah, but to your point, and very far apart championships too, like 8 years apart.
Yeah. And all I'm gonna say is there's some other guys who would have like a similar-ish resume in terms of winning championships as like the second best guys, third best guys that like Kyrie has, and might have even done it more so, Klay Thompson. But like Kyrie's just better, right? So like
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
issue there. But then on the other hand, peak Russell Westbrook is just better than peak Kyrie.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of why it's difficult. But he's on a weird pace. Like if he won another one after this, like we're
Oh Lord.
like now I'm starting to throw him top 40, top 30, not top 30.
Hmm.
It's gonna be really hard to ever put someone top 30 who can like lead a team, but like yeah.
Mm.
He becomes the
Um,
antithesis of James Harden, basically. If he wins like
uh,
one and like maybe wins another one before his career ends, he becomes like
mhm,
him and James Harden basically just have reverse arguments.
mhm. I like that. Okay.
Luca, is this the best first 5 seasons we've seen since Magic?
Magic or Tim Duncan. Um, for first 6 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's top. He's a top five first 6 season player of all time. Probably Wilt is ahead of him. Probably Bill Russell.
Yeah, that's why I said since Magic too. I was
Oh,
like,
since
yeah,
Magic,
though,
yeah.
because it's also tough with the even Duncan a little bit because he stayed in college for so long, but that's like modern era. He stayed that long and
Hmm.
it's good. Like I can't take that away from him. But like, yeah, the thing is like Kareem was like 23
Yeah,
season,
right.
and Wilt
So
was different.
yeah. So since Magic and Larry, so Larry Magic, um, Tim Duncan, Kobe,
Yeah, Kobe's got an argument.
and then Luca.
Yeah, no one else
Probably.
like no one else is like close to that level. Rose was on pace,
Yeah.
but he just couldn't get over the hump with the Heat
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, just he just got hurt.
because he got it. What he got an MVP sophomore season,
Third,
third.
but still. Maybe young D Wade could be in that as
Yeah.
well. He won a
The
chip in
thing
his third
it's
year.
the five all M first team all NBA vote.
Yeah.
Dude, Duncan didn't have a first team all NBA till his fifth season in the NBA.
Wow. But he also did
Oh
have.
no, I'm
Yeah.
tweaking. He didn't have an all. Wait. No. I'm tweaking. He didn't have an MVP
Huh?
till his fifth season, which
Yeah.
was actually better.
Yeah. Yeah. How many All NBA? Yeah. How many All NBAs did he have in his first? He must have had at least 3 or 4.
Well, Duncan started off his career with 5 straight All NBA first teams.
Okay, so absolute.
Or no,
Yes.
8 straight, 8 straight, 8 straight. Dude, I'm mind blown. Like I know Bahomey was nice and he was getting his titles in between, but 8 straight, like he didn't miss.
All right, so he's not the best ever to start his career.
He's the best since
Because
Duncan. Best since Duncan.
wait, Tim Duncan won. He was All NBA first team as a rookie,
Yeah.
or was he All NBA as a rookie?
All NBA first team as a rookie.
Okay.
Guess where he finished in MVP voting that year?
I mean, I feel like it's high. It's got to be like top 3 or 4.
Top five. Yeah, he was fifth. It was fifth right behind Shaq, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, and Michael Jordan.
Holy crap.
What a joke.
That's insane. We got to pay that man more respect.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy to think that like rookie year Tim Duncan finished fifth in MVP voting behind like Michael Jordan, and like by the end of his career he was playing with like Kawhi.
Yeah. Yeah. And still finishing top 5, 6 in MVP voting at like 38 years old.
What did he finish? Top 10 in MVP voting his second to last season as a 38-year-old?
Something like that. He was third team All NBA.
Crazy. Crazy.
It's insane.
14.
Um,
We all still knew how good he was. Like he was putting up 14 and 10 and everyone no one blinked twice. Everyone voted
yeah,
for him. They're like, we know you're nice. You're taking it easy.
yeah, yeah. Luca, I think, becomes the best player in the NBA for sure. And in my mind,
Probably
at least,
crowned as such. Yeah.
yeah. And then there's still debates. It might not be as undisputed as when Jokic won it,
Yeah.
but the runway is cleared for him to win MVP next season if he wins it.
How many chips can Luca win before he retires? He's 24.
He is also 24. The parity is so strong in the league right now that I don't think it's just harder to win a chip. So I think let's do 2.5 as the over under.
Oh, I'm slamming the over. If he wins this year, I'm 100% slamming the over, right? Obviously, but even right now, I'm slamming the over.
Potentially. I mean, the Nuggets are still there.
I just
The
he's gonna be
Timberwolves are
good
going
till
to
he's
get better.
35. He's not athletic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Is
he's
he
gonna
going
be
to?
he's gonna age like LeBron at some point.
Yeah. Shit. Dang. We got a lot to look forward to the next couple
Hey,
weeks.
put your money on it right now. Slam the futures, and you can cash out in 10 years from me, Luca, over 3.5 NBA champion.
Over 3.5.
Come on. Come on.
Whoa, I set the number at 2.5. Okay,
I'm
you're
no, I'm
jumping that.
standing on it. I actually am very confident that Luca, like I think it's gonna be a Luca Wemby battle for a while here. Or like, yeah, I don't know. And Luca's
Good.
not gonna win four straight, but like
Mhm.
Luca will just be good for 15 years.
Yeah,
That's kind of where I see it going. Which like Tatum is obviously 25, but I think Luca's game is just gonna translate really, really well to AD.
sure,
Um,
sure. Um, yeah, that's fine. Luke and Wemby can battle out in the West.
I hate it here. You're gonna have Alex Sarr breathing down your neck. No. Alex Sarr and then like whatever the Trey Young trade package is.
Legit, dude.
Like
Got Jalen Brunson breathing down my neck. That's fine.
Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. You're shit.
Yeah. Sheesh,
At
quivering.
whatever 27th overall second round, like a first round pick that the Heat pick in like 2028 who pans out to be a six-time All-Star.
Yeah, exactly. And just torches us consistently.
It'll be like I don't know. It's like Nikola Jovic. Or actually
Yeah,
that's already like he's already in the NBA. I was trying to come up with
that's
a generic
that's that's honestly a great um that's a great take.
Yeah.
Um
So Tim Hardaway Jr., does he move into the top 75 of the chip here?
wasn't he already? I think that they really unlocked their offense by unlocking him from the court.
By locking him from the.
I
He has
think
like an
that's how
air
they.
tag that starts ringing anytime he steps in the lines.
Yeah, it's like that picture of KCP on the Lakers Photoshop with the ankle monitor.
That was some peak NBA comedy. NBA meme.
That was amazing. So just good to see that, he's cheering on the bench. He's the 11th guy now on the bench. Let's just keep it at that.
Jason Kidd getting an extension and then proceeding to bench him made no sense. Why why did you feel like it was less like once you got your extension, you're like, okay, like now I can do what I want and I can bench Tim Hardaway. Does that mean like I don't know. I don't know what was happening before. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, interesting. Huh.
It's like
Maybe
pretty nice. It was pretty
Tim
nice.
Hardaway Sr. had some words, maybe.
Yeah, I got some. If he was the, I don't know. He should have some words for his son. So, um, okay, that was crazy. My bad.
Oh Lord.
That was
I
crazy.
mean, just, he's 0 for 1 from the 3-point line. He's 0 for 2 from the free throw line. He has 4 rebounds and 1 steal in this entire series. So, shout out to Tim Hardaway Jr., who has not scored in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I have to give my weekly shout out to Naz Reid. 50% from three, 50% from the floor. The second best player on the T-Wolves right now.
He's been balling.
He
He's
better
the
than Rudy
reason.
Gobert. Like I'm just throwing it out there, bro. I'm just throwing it out there. Are they better for he's on the court instead of Rudy Gobert? For context, he's shooting 48% from the field and 40% from three in these playoffs. Only playing 22 minutes a game. If that guy was on my team, he'd be playing 40.
I see a path for the Timberwolves to win a chip next year.
Oh, yeah.
There's a path. They have to face the Nuggets and the Mavs have to face off in the semis this time, and the Timberwolves got to be on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, this was the worst possible matchup for Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like they just don't have the firepower to put up with like Luka and Kyrie.
Not yet. If they can get another scorer, we keep talking about Malik Monk to Orlando. Why don't we talk about Malik Monk to Minnesota?
I mean, they need to they need to clear up some cap space.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, they don't. Funny enough, like in my opinion, it's all like Towns has no excuse. This team is pretty built perfectly for Towns to be a second best guy, scorer, allegedly the best shooting big man of all time. Dirk Nowitzki doesn't
Allegedly.
exist anymore. But like I don't know. Matt Bonner doesn't exist anymore. But anyways,
That's crazy.
I don't know. Like, yeah, this is like Towns. I don't know. There's also a fun Brandon Ingram trade to the there's a Brandon Ingram to the T-Wolves trade somewhere here that I'm trying to concoct. Like if Brandon Ingram like really locked in and tried to like be a good defender and rebound a little bit more and like accepted a role, I think that'd be fun. He'd also get to score a lot more or get the ball a lot more.
We kind of know who Towns is at this point. He's 28.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe he needs to get punched in the mouth in the Western Conference Finals to finally wake up. But
He's got to get punched in the mouth a lot, apparently.
damn, him and Rudy just taking L's left and right.
No, like I'm gonna be honest, like if you look at his playoff career for Towns, like last year, 5 games, 18 points, 25% from three. Like, I don't know. When they made it in 21-22, played 6 playoff games, he was pretty good then. Shout out. But like these last 2 years have been bad, honestly, in the playoffs.
That's why the Timberwolves are going with Ant. I mean, if he can, I mean, also though, if this is a whole different conversation if he played close to as efficient as he was playing last series.
I mean, yeah, but it's playoff time.
Yeah.
It's playoff time. Like, and this is a matchup where he should have the space. Like he should be able to cook Derrick Jones.
Yep.
It's not like the Mavs are playing with both Gafford and Lively on the court, and like Gobert and Towns can't move. Like,
Yeah, and that's why I think we don't overreact because this is such a these series are so close, and the Timberwolves are kind of right there knocking on the door.
yeah, and I mean, they'll be fine. Like, they'll run it back next year. They'll be a top 3 Western Conference team, and it'll be like time to show it, you know. And they're like,
Yeah.
I don't see them overreacting after having one of the best years in their franchise history,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I don't know.
Had they ever won a Western Conference Finals game? Did they win when Kevin Garnett brought them there 20 years ago? Or did they get swept?
I kind of feel like they got swept. I'm not.
Dang.
Red
Lights got too bright.
Lights hilarious.
It's
All right. Well, with that, that's all I got.
dude. That's all I got too. Let's hop on this soon again.
You want what?
Let's hop on this soon again. Let's get back on it. Let's keep going. Come on. One more game each.
Dude,
Let's
I'm hyped.
hop on these teams and let's ride that D. Because that's what we got to do.
Explosive O.
Some explosive O, because I just don't think the Pacers can handle the Celtics load.
Yeah, when the Celtics put the straps on, it's really difficult to deal with them.
Oh my Lord. They're just bending over backwards trying to keep up.
All right, with that.
With that,
I'll try to get the podcast up either tonight. We recorded this on a Monday, Memorial Day. Shout out all the fallen veterans. But you guys might see this on Tuesday, by the way.
Shout out is crazy.
Our service members, fallen service members, actually, because not all people remembered on Memorial Day were veterans.
That's a fire point. Yeah. So thank you to all those who serve us in whatever capacity you do. We appreciate you all. We'll be back soon to cover the NBA Finals, which start on June 6th. We have plenty of time to close out the end of these conference finals. Who knows? Maybe the Pacers sneak in an extra win. Maybe the June 6th.
Oh, Porzingis come back.
Feeling good. Who knows? Like maybe one of these teams pulls one of those classic, let's win 2 games at the end of the series before we get closed out things. I would love that in the Western Conference Finals. So we'll be back before the NBA Finals starts to cover what is slating up to be one of the greatest NBA Finals that we've seen in the last 5 years, maybe.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. With that, we'll be chilling here. Y'all like, subscribe, argue in the comments about anything you thought that we said. And until then, we'll just be chilling here spitting hoops.